We call one of these a power podcast or a sprint race.
Power podcast. That's a new one, Adam. I like it.
20 minutes. Just packed with information. And you know
Lots
what?
of power.
We wouldn't normally do this. If this was any other team other than Ferrari, we wouldn't do this. But
True.
It's Ferrari, and John Elkann has, according to the internet, put his foot in his mouth. But I think John Elkann said exactly what he wanted to say, and we're going to talk about it. John Elkann, who is the head of, he's the Ferrari chairman, right? And he was just celebrating, I saw it on LinkedIn actually, the Ferrari WEC win, which WEC is World Endurance Championship. And he said, this is what happens when our engineers and our pit people and everything and our drivers all work together, nobody can beat us. And he said in a press conference coming off of that win in Bahrain today, in Bahrain, we won the World Endurance Championship title. When Ferrari is united, we get results. We definitely have drivers who need to focus on driving and talk less because we still have important races left ahead of us, and getting second place is not impossible. And he talked about how he thought the mechanics and engineers were performing well. He said, but if we look at the rest, it's not up to scratch. Now, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, Tim, have responded. Lewis talked about how he backed his team no matter what. Charles Leclerc said what he said. Both are sort of read between the lines statements. They're not exactly, I'll pull up Charles in a second here. But Tim, let's talk about the titanic fallout of John Elkann's comments. Somebody who doesn't speak to the media all that often, really, really surprising. And the drivers don't seem thrilled about it, but maybe that's the point.
It doesn't seem helpful though, Adam, when you go through his quotes and, one of them talk less and focus on driving. I don't think that necessarily helps Ferrari's situation. I mean, Elkann, Ferrari president, speaking on Monday from Milano Cortina. So that's where next year's Olympics will be hosted. So that's where he was doing this interview from. In questioning the team unity as well, Adam. So he's definitely taken some or throwing some pretty big punches here, and whether or not it's to spur on the team, and he had done it in a good manner, so to speak. I mean, however you want to view it, those quotes are still quite strong. And how, when I look at all of this, let's just start with the drivers first off, because how can you blame the drivers? Leclerc is operating at an outrageously high level in a car that, let's be honest here, has no business being where it's been qualifying. If anything, Adam, I would argue that they are wasting Leclerc's prime years here, where others like George Russell, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, the ones he had raced against in his karting years, they're off winning races, and they are two of them are competing for a title against each other as we speak. And I think, Adam, when you try to question some of what Charles has done this season, I think he's got 7 podiums. He probably would have had 8 if Antonelli hadn't have taken him out in Brazil. Look, if you're John Elkann and you're upset about losing second in the constructors' standings and dropping all the way down to 4th, getting beat by Red Bull Racing, who's really operating on one car at the moment. Let's be honest. I mean, do it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Don't air your dirty laundry into the media like that, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to get blowback. Everyone's going to write articles. Everyone's going to have opinions. You're going to have hashtag Fire Elkann trending on social media. It doesn't help anything, right? And I think also when we take a look at drivers as well, with Lewis Hamilton, he's their big signing, Adam. He's 7-time Formula One world champion. You're paying this guy millions of dollars to be there. He won the sprint. Tens of millions. He won the sprint in China. I mean, on Sunday, he did say that, his first Ferrari year has been a nightmare, but I mean, you can't just start taking shots at your drivers, who are the ones that are their asses are in the seat, and the ones that are putting the effort
Red Bull
in.
did it all the time, Tim.
Yeah, but come on. Not like this.
Not like this. I agree. And again, it's on a different level when it's Ferrari. But let me play the other side of this. for a second. Charles has been good this year.
He's been fantastic at it.
Yeah.
He's been, like, I would say, top 3 driver.
Yep, I agree.
On the
Lewis
grid.
hasn't.
No.
What the talk thing tells me is that Charles and Lewis, it's not about talking to the media. This is about talking within the team. I feel like perhaps maybe they're not united. And perhaps Charles and Lewis are not getting along. There are rumors on like gossip sites, like celebrity gossip sites, that are saying prominent team, 2 drivers not getting along. Literal, Tim, I'm not even kidding. On like Crazy Days and Night, which is a celebrity gossip site. And I thought for a bit it might be Piastri and Lando. But because they always seem like they get along fine. Man, it seems like there's been a lot of chat from this Ferrari team. And sometimes it takes a good coach to put themselves on the line and go, hey, guys, this is BS, and you need to knock it off. And the interesting thing for Elkann here is if they come out guns blazing in Vegas and they do well, especially Lewis, well, John Elkann got what he wanted, didn't he? So maybe it was worth it. The other side of it is if they don't, then he's probably screwed anyway. So does John Elkann really have anything to lose here, Tim?
Sure. He could be forced out of the team.
But he might be forced out anyway.
Maybe, but honestly, probably wouldn't look as bad. And it may be for other reasons. Like, if it, like, I mean, seeing Elkann fired trending today was like pretty jarring when you think about it. And you think about Ferrari as an entity. I mean, he's just the guy. He's the big boss on top. He's not the boss. He's not the big boss at the Scuderia. That's, that's Fred Vasseur, right? That's who that is. And I mean, I think Elkann had said there was another. Oh God, there's just so much to it to unpack. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't think it's helpful when you start criticizing everybody. It's never helpful when you criticize a team, and it's kind of like shut up and drive. And it's like, well, hold on a second here. The upgrades. So the updates. Remember when they started this season, and it was they got disqualified from the Chinese Grand Prix because they had worn away the skid planks underneath the car, and there was rumors going around that there's going to be upgrades. There's going to be upgrades, and these upgrades they're going to help. They're going to do a lot. They're going to help us with our ride height issues and all that stuff. So the updates, they come. They bring the suspension, rear suspension to the car. It was supposed to help the rear ride height. Doesn't really look like it did that.
No,
now, did it? So how
doesn't.
the hell is that the driver's fault?
It's not.
And why the hell should they shut up? Because they're the ones whose asses are in the seats communicating what's wrong with the car. And so you're either going to listen to them or you're not. And for Charles Leclerc, I mean, it seems like he's getting close to his wit's end here. Like, I think he has been more vocal within the media this season compared to any other season. There's been moments where I've caught him like wanting to say more, but he just won't. Like, he's held back. And I know there's more there that he's willing to give. But he's abstained. When you're a Ferrari driver, those are some of the things you do have to do. But at the same time, if you're dealing with the same stuff over and over and over again, and you're a championship caliber driver, and you're having your years wasted, then yes, Adam, like, you are going to say things. You are going to get frustrated. You're going to say some things into the media. You're not going to be kind about the car, right? You're telling them what you need from it, and he's not getting it. And that's where all the frustration comes from. And the same thing goes with Hamilton as well. I mean, Lewis has looked good over the last few races. I mean, in Brazil, running not good. Running into Carlos Sainz and then running into the ass end of Franco Colapinto. Like, that was that's a weekend to forget. Mexico was a good weekend for him up until getting penalized. And I also felt that Austin wasn't too bad for him either. And things have been trending in the right direction for him leading into Brazil, I felt. But yeah, it all went wrong for him there. And I can see that he's frustrated, but he's not taking that out on the team. When he says he's having a nightmare of a season, it's personal, right? He's saying that for himself. He's not taking that out on the team. I think what's rubbed the team the wrong way, maybe the notes that he had made back during the summer break, where he had thought that the team could work on fast tracking some things on the racing side, and also back at the factory, maybe some of the crew took that the wrong way. Maybe some of the crew actually took it in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Like there's two sides to that as well. And so for Elkann to just come out and say, all of this stuff and team unity, which we should get into in a minute, because that was another thing he sort of touched on as well. I think just wild statements. Just wild statements. I mean, the other part of it was he'd said that they have their mechanics who are winning the championship with their performance and everything that has been done in the pit stops, not the Constructors' Championship, that they are winning, because McLaren sewed that up in Singapore. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, well, what else could he be referring to? And I'm thinking, okay, well, he must be referring to the pit stop challenge, right? They've done great pit stops for sure. There's no question about it. But
yeah,
you don't really win anything for that. So it's just such a bit of a throwaway quote where it's kind of like, well, why would you say that as well? Like, you don't, like the DHL, fastest pit stop award. Like it's cool and all, but I mean, it's not like winning a Constructors' Championship or a driver's title.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just so much to unpack with what everything he had said, that it would just, for me, just felt so just unnecessary. I can understand the frustrations, can understand that he's frustrated, can understand that the team is frustrated, can understand that the driver's frustrated, because they all want to win, right? Every single one of those people want to win, and they're not, and that's definitely frustrating. And this is a season where I think they felt they were going to win, and they're not, but there's a better way of handling it.
Right. Well, okay. So what's the path forward, Tim?
I mean,
like, what do you do? Like Fred Vasseur, Lewis Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc are going to have to answer questions about this before the next race.
100%.
Unless John Elkann comes out and makes another statement, which he can't do politically. So what's the path forward? I mean, I don't think Lewis and John are getting along anymore. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, that's a shame, right? I mean, just think about how much those two had to work together to get something over the line, and Fred Vasseur getting involved and trying to convince Lewis to come over, and think about how Fred must feel, right? Like, so there's a lot to it all. And I think for John and Lewis, they definitely need to talk. If they're not, they should be, because this is not how you build a championship winning atmosphere or team. Like, you just can't do it this way. Like, they've tried to do it like this in the past, Adam. Like after the Schumacher days, you bled over into the Maurizio Rivabene days as a Ferrari boss, and I think he always had sharp comments and criticisms. I can't remember what he said about like Sebastian Vettel. Like, I'm just pulling this one off the top of memory. I think he said he had to earn his way within the team or something like that when Seb first showed up. And I'm like, he's a 4-time world champion. Like, what? So it doesn't feel like things have evolved as much as they probably should have. Maybe they have, right? But these comments just feel like it kind of brings everything back to that, where it's like, when in the Schumacher era, and it's hard to compare things to the Schumacher era, but in the Schumacher era, it was like things not always were rosy, but they worked together as a team. Like everyone worked together, from the head of Ferrari car manufacturing company all the way through to the Scuderia. Right. Everybody worked well together. And so that's why these comments, and when you even saw them, you were like, wow, like that's those are some comments, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where you go from here. I really don't. I mean, it's going to be on Frederick Vasseur, I think, to try and create some team harmony. I mean, that's obviously why he's one of the reasons why he's there for sure. Is it his job to do that? I mean, yeah, in a way it kind of is, right? He's kind of that guy who's kind of got to protect the team from the management.
Yep.
And for Fred, he is big on having a good team dynamic, good unity. I feel that he's done a nice job of that because of where the team was to where it is now. It is different in that respect. And so he's going to have some work to do, Adam, over the next few weeks, especially when we get to Vegas. And I'll be curious to see what the drivers have to say about this. What do you think about all of it?
Well, I think it speaks to the political infighting that it always exists at Ferrari. I think you've got one of the things that I've been batting around in my mind this season was you had a good thing going. You didn't need Lewis Hamilton. And Charles and Carlos got into it from time to time, like they get annoyed with each other or whatever. But most of the time, they work pretty well as teammates. It was exciting when Lewis signed there, really exciting. It was obviously a year in between from when he signed there to when he actually got there. But there was so much riding on it, Tim, that failure felt like something that almost was bound to happen at first. And listen, this could be a completely different conversation in 6 months. In 6 months, you and I could be sitting here. Ferrari could have won 3 in a row to start the season. And we could be going, well, damn, they got a good car. But, they finished second last year in the team championships. They look like they're rolling into something good. And this year, they just flub it again. And I don't think signing Lewis Hamilton is never a mistake. Like, you can't ever say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder about the culture they brought him into, and that was already there. Charles Leclerc, like, one thing I always look at too, Tim, is like Charles Leclerc's always been frustrated there. There's always been these issues to one degree or another. And, whether it was a few years ago when Max was dominating and winning every race, or actually before that, 2022, when it was Ferrari versus Red Bull, right?
Yep.
And
Leclerc was leading the championship for the first 4 races, I believe it was.
And they blew it based on strategy. It's always something. There is rot in that team, man. There is. There's something in that team. I don't know what it is. There's people there, or there's habits there. I don't even know if it's people. It's habits that are ugly. And that has to change. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't. I'm not close enough to the situation. Obviously, I identify the issue. But hey, you start the season with a bad car, well, you're gonna have problems. You spend the whole rest of the season trying to catch up.
Absolutely. That's why when he had said in part of his comments that like they have a great. I'm paraphrasing. It was along the lines of insinuating that they have a really good car. But I don't think that's factually correct. I don't think they have a very good car.
No.
I think it's the drivers that are making it a good car and putting it where it needs to be. And then you look at the advancements that Mercedes and Red Bull have made over the past 6 races, and Ferrari just hasn't. Right? They just haven't. And I think the podiums that they're getting from Leclerc, those are just based off of like insanely good qualifying laps from Leclerc because he's the best at it on the grid in qualifying, and really strong race pace from him to keep the tire management alive and to secure whatever he can get. And so, yeah, there's just some of those things that he had said. I was just reading the quotes and I'm just like, what? Like, how can you be saying this about your own team? Like, I don't understand that. So I'm going to have some questions for, obviously, the drivers when we get to Vegas, because I have to hear what they have to say about all this, and we'll see where it goes. But I mean, I think, Fred Vasseur is going to have his work cut out for him for sure. And I think I want to praise him for one thing, because, when we go back to those 2022 seasons, right, Adam, where it was like you had said, like it was Ferrari versus Red Bull. And remember, like their pit stops, their strategy calls were very detrimental to the team, cost them a lot of points, cost Charles Leclerc the Monaco Grand Prix victory.
Yep.
And you bring Fred in, and now you've got like a great strategy team. You have the best pit stops on the grid. And so that's a sign to me that whatever Fred is doing behind the scenes is working, but you just have to allow him to do it.
Right. Well, I hope they do. And I think true leadership would be John Elkann stepping back in front of the microphone and clarifying his statement.
For sure.
I think politically, though, I don't know that he's got the political capital to do it. So we shall see. Now, other thing to talk about, Tim, is very quickly, Toto Wolff's a richer man. He already was a billionaire, but he sold a stake in Mercedes. I don't believe it was the entirety of his share in the Mercedes team, right?
So he's closing in on one. He's not finalized or anything like that. So it was Sportico who had reported the story first. And I spoke with a source close to the team, and they had affirmed that the story did have some legs. So for Toto Wolff, what does he own, right? Like, okay, so he owns part of the Mercedes F1 team. He owns a 33% stake. Mm-hmm. And that evaluation, Adam, is $6 billion for 33%.
So he would sell all of it then?
He is looking to sell, well, not looking. There is conversations about him selling upwards of about 5%, 6%.
Okay.
So
6%. Of a few hundred mil?
Of that, 33% ownership that he has for the Mercedes team. What would happen, right? So he would remain in his current role as the CEO. He would keep team principal title and things of that nature.
Yeah.
He would just be selling it. We don't know who he would be selling it to. That's the other question. I know I saw some things online of Christian Horner memes and things of that nature.
Can you imagine?
I don't know. Maybe it is. I have no idea. Nobody knows who it is. I couldn't see it, but I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
I did reach out to Mercedes though, and I had asked them about it, and they gave me a quote, or gave me a statement, and they said, we will be making no comment on this. The governance of the team will remain unchanged, and all three partners are fully committed to the ongoing success of Mercedes-Benz in Formula One. So part of the ownership is Mercedes-Benz. The other part of the ownership is Toto Wolff. And the other part of the ownership is Ineos president, Ineos, I should say. And that's Jim Ratcliffe. His company bought a stake in the team for roughly $300 million back in 2022, I think it was. If the date serves me right. I think so. That's what it was. And so if you look at, selling 5% of 33%, which is valued at $6 billion now. What does that work out to, Adam? I don't even know.
What's 5% of $6 billion?
There you go.
5% times $6 billion is $300 million.
$300 million. Now, if it's 5% of his share, then what's 30% of $6 billion? No, I don't want it.
Riveting.
It says 1.8 times 10. It's not helpful. What's 30% of $6 billion?
Adam is talking to his phone at the moment.
That's 1.8 billion.
Okay.
So What's 30% of 1.8 billion? $540 million. So it's
Okay.
one of those two. It's either it's a question of whether it's 5% of his 30% or 5% of the total team.
Okay. So,
But I imagine it's 5% of the total team. That's what I would think.
yeah. This would mean that this valuation would be, that has to be one of the highest on the grid for any of the teams.
Well, and of course it is.
Has
You
to
know
be.
what's so funny about people? People are like, "What do you mean? Mercedes is only valued at $3 billion according to this publication or whatever." Here's the deal. When these teams go on sale, there's going to be a bidding war for them. All of them.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what the actual value of the franchise is because billionaires are putting their money into sports franchises. Liberty Media has taken Formula One and they've turned it into a franchise sport, which is the best way to run a league because it creates the highest value for the owners, meaning that everybody else benefits because there are actual trickle-down effects, at least for a few employees like the drivers or the players or whatever. And so in this particular instance, do you know how many people, if that Mercedes team went up for sale, would be bidding their butts off to buy it?
It'd be so many, dude.
$6 billion might
So
be low for
many.
the valuation. Honestly.
So
Say,
many.
Tim, this isn't even like it's not a North American sport. It's not a European sport. It is a worldwide sport. Everywhere in the world. I think that's low, honestly. I think $6 billion is low.
Well, I think that means so. McLaren Racing, they sold recently a stake in their team. It was last month, and let me see if I can find it. Topping. So I think McLaren LP. I think it was a $4.7 billion sale last month.
Yep.
So if Toto Wolff's shares, so his 33% is worth $6 billion. Holy jeez. How I guess that is a staggering amount that would be worth. That's
crazy.
What's the Dallas Cowboys worth? 10 billion?
Oh, easily. Yeah, and the LA Lakers just sold for $10 billion.
Wow, Adam, we're getting up there, man. That's
We are.
crazy.
I mean, you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs if in the NHL, if they went up for sale, they think the neighbor it'd be right there in that neighborhood, 6 to 6.5 billion.
But 33% though, like so that would be 33%. So that means that what is the 100% worth?
Oh no, $6 billion valuation
So
is
that
how
would
they
be
value
on
the entire product, and then
wow.
the 30% is 30% of that number.
That even blows my mind even more.
Yeah. Well, think about this, man. I mean, listen, that Mercedes team, which became Braun, right, was sold for $1 at one point. Honda gave that up for $1 in 2007, 2008. Look at what's happened. It's crazy. Crazy. Like, go back and watch, for anybody that hasn't, Keanu Reeves does a really great job outlining. Keanu Reeves, I know, a huge F1 guy, does a great job with that Braun F1 documentary. I really loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
And in it, they talk about how Honda was like, it's $1. Or it's a pound or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a pound or something, like whatever.
Crazy.
You literally Ross Braun, coming in, just here's $1.
Yep.
I'll take whatever you got. Now look at it. That I can't believe it, because if you look at remember when Claire Williams sold Williams Racing to Doralton, that was like 150
million.
Yeah, I was gonna say is
150 million.
And now you look at it, if Mercedes is being evaluated at that, I mean, what's a team like Williams going to be valued? Like, whew, man, they're in the billions now. That was what, 4 seasons ago now.
Yep. Dude.
I don't know how that. My math doesn't math very well, but that's a big jump in a short amount of time.
Yep, it's crazy. And they've done a great job with it, man. Like it's just so good for Toto. already a brilliant businessman, so he's doing it at the right time. And from every report we've read and heard, he will remain as team principal. We know that too.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, Tim, listen, our sprint podcast is coming to an end. But I am very, very excited for what it's going to look like when we are in a position to hear from Ferrari, to hear from Fred, to hear from Lewis, to hear from Charles. No doubt the PR people are pulling their hair out tonight.
You're probably onto something there, Adam. I mean, Vegas is going to be interesting. Excited to hear what everybody has to say, and who knows, maybe we'll get more from John Elkann before then. And if we do, we'll obviously come on here and talk about it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Tim.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, great show.
Yeah.
It was short, but it was great.
Short,
and we'll
sweet.
see you soon, okay?
Thanks, pal.